Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Roseville Wrecking Ball. The Roseville Wrecking Ball.
Joshua Shrum. He is a very talented steward, very knowledgeable.
The Roseville Wrecking Ball. This is one of those podcasts where I listen to every episode. I love what he's putting out there.
The Roseville Wrecking Ball. Josh Shrum.
Parcels of Knowledge. Does a fantastic job with that podcast.
The Roseville Wrecking Ball. He is an Article 8 scholar, and thank God. We need Article 8 scholars right now.
Tune into the Parcels of Knowledge podcast while you're on the route. That's the mailman's playbook, brother.
Good morning, and welcome back to Parcels of Knowledge, that podcast dedicated to delivering knowledge to the city letter carrier with your host, the Roseville Wrecking Ball. Today we're on grievance number 578 for the year. Almost done with the year. We got about a week left. Don't forget to send me those questions for Debbie Dixon at rosevillewreckingball@yahoo.com. We got Debbie Dixon coming on. She'll be here in the beginning of the year. But the questions will not be able to be submitted anymore starting December 25th. So this is the last call for those questions. Lately, I've been getting a lot of talk about undelivered mail. I even got a shout out from Mike Cariff because, I've been communicating with Bill Jackson about a couple other things with undelivered mail. And of course, this really should be a national issue because there's information that we probably need that we're not going to get because it's a national grievance in all reality in terms of the law, which I'll talk about later. But I've been getting questions about, where do we start? Where do we start about filing this grievance? Well, let me start with the main article of violation, in my opinion, and that would be Article 19 via the Postal Operations Manual. And I would say this is incorporated into wages, hours, and working conditions because mail operations is how we get paid. Without mail operations, we wouldn't actually have a job. And that's why this issue is so integral to us and what we do, because what we do here is going to define our future. Now, the Postal Operations Manual, if you wouldn't mind, turn to Section 621. That's delivery schedules and trip frequencies. We'll start with express, first class, and priority mail. Deliver on the first trip all express mail, first class mail, and priority mail received at the central distribution facility prior to the established cutoff time. This goes hand in hand with what I was talking about in the last episode about undelivered mail. And if you haven't listened to that, go ahead and go back and listen to it. But this goes hand in hand with what the OIG had pointed out, that first class mail is to be delivered upon receipt, same day. 621.2, periodicals. Deliver periodicals on a first scheduled delivery trip following receipt at the delivery unit, provided that such delivery does not delay first class mail. 621.3, standard mail. This is UBUM. Deliver standard mail not later than second delivery day after day of receipt. Day of receipt begins at midnight unless the area manager approves a different time. Deliver mail received on Saturday no later than Tuesday. Deliver circulars received on a day preceding a holiday no later than the second delivery day following the holiday. See, this is also important. How many of you had UBUM just sitting there for days and days and days? Well, this is a daily violation grievance you can file. If you got third-class mail sitting on the floor, waiting for delivery for more than 2 days, well, then you got yourself a grievance under Article 19. You might have to articulate the harm, because you can't just say, well, these sales provide us wages. We have to keep up our standards so that customers will continue to be serviced by us, because this is a universal service. So we don't really have competition. But what you should do is, we have the right under Article 17, stewards do, under Article 17 and 31, to go and interview patrons. We all know patrons that are upset about their mail delivery, and this is the perfect opportunity to show what type of harm this could cause to our community. I think that this will probably be the best way to go about articulating the harm, is to show that our patrons are upset. And I know there are plenty of upset ones, and maybe there's also plenty of ones that are not upset, but it should be our duty to go out there and interview those who are not very happy about their mail delivery, and especially if we have an undelivered mail grievance. By the way, that universal service that we provide comes from 39 U.S. Code 101. I'm going to read it again. It's incorporated into the national agreement under Article 3 and 5, because 3 gives management general authority to manage their operations, yet limits management's authority not to be in conflict with the law or the contract. Article 5 incorporates the law into our contract. So 39 U.S. Code 101, subsection A and B. I'm just going to read the relevant parts. The United States Postal Service shall be operated as a basic and fundamental service provided to the people by the government of the United States, authorized by the Constitution, created by act of Congress, and supported by the people. The Postal Service shall have its basic function the obligation to provide postal services to bind the nation together through the personal, educational, literary, and business correspondence of the people. It shall provide prompt, reliable, and efficient services to patrons in all areas, and shall render postal services to all communities. The cost of establishing and maintaining the postal service shall not be apportioned to impair the overall value of such service to the people. B. The Postal Service shall maintain an integrated network for the delivery of market-dominant and competitive products, as defined in Chapter 36 of this title. Delivery shall occur at least 6 days a week, except during weeks that include a federal holiday, in emergency situations such as natural disasters, or in geographic areas where the Postal Service has established a policy of delivering mail fewer than 6 days a week as of the date of enactment of the Postal Service Reform Act of 2022. The Postal Service shall provide a maximum degree of effective and regular postal services to rural areas, communities, and small towns where post offices are not self-sustaining. No small post office shall be closed solely for operating at a deficient, it being the specific intent of Congress that effective postal services be ensured to residents of both urban and rural communities. Keep in mind that Congress is one of our best friends when it comes to this. You can start in congressional inquiry if your postal service station is making it so that many days they're not delivering the mail. Like, for example, at my station, a lot of times they want to avoid penalty. And in doing so, they say, okay, well, just drop the mail at 10 hours and just do the packages and get your ass back. And then that mail will be back the next day, first class and all. And I think that Congress and our constituents that are our patrons would love to hear about these practices that are going on. Maybe you should interview them. Maybe you should interview Congress and our patrons and see, do they think that we're upholding the service as it is defined in that U.S. code, or even as it's defined in the Postal Operations Manual. I think that this is something that we really need to get on. I think that this is something that needs to stop. So in the next month, I'm going to come up with a link that's going to include all appropriate resources for you to file this grievance. I got a couple OIG reports. I got a few arbitrations. I got the U.S. code. I got all kinds of stuff like the USPS color code policy. And if you have anything to give me to include in that link, please share it with me. And I know this episode was short, but I just want to start pushing you in the right direction for this undelivered mail. And a lot of times we're going to lose this one because our NBAs are not supporting us. Our nationals not supporting us. So we're going to need to just buckle up and do the best case files we can. And if you lose, don't really let burnout get the best of you. Keep going, come back at it with a better case file. In the meantime, next month, I'm going to have a very detailed episode and a link to the resources you're going to need to file this grievance. Hopefully, you have a good Christmas. I know that I won't be able to post another episode prior to then, of course. And as always, have a good day out there.
If these guys are getting educated, we will be in big trouble.
Management's been weighing you down like a bag of wet catalogs, but you don't gotta take it. You strap on the elbow of education, dig it?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Roseville Wrecking Ball. The Roseville Wrecking Ball.
The Roseville Wrecking Ball is an Article 8 scholar, and thank God, we need Article 8 scholars right now. The grievance genius and the Roseville Wrecking Ball doing amazing work.
Tune into the Parcels of Knowledge podcast while you're on the route. That's the mailman's playbook, brother.